They are planning to discuss this segments. Second, analysis question. Third, console PNL. These are the three areas I'm going to cover first. The rest of the adjustments, how we are going to deal with the full balance sheet, right? So under here, we have already discussed, you know, the balance sheet, how we are dealing with in a consolidation, and then separate adjustments we have completed. Now we are going to do both in one, right? So we have a set of adjustments. Now we are going to solve it in a full question. That's the target. And then how we are going to add P&L to that. Right? I hope it is clear. So we are coming through a type of a journey. One by one, we are slowly learning about consolidation. Right? All these pre-acquisition, post-acquisition adjustments. Now we are moving to balance sheet. I have given it to do some to try. If you have completed it, you can give as an alternative assignment. That's what I give. I want to give you all because you want to try it. You can struggle. But it is a good class again. Last week, yeah. Can't remember. Right. So, what is the adjustment please stop with this not having any very mon adjustment here. If it transfers, if the government says that it transfers, right? Let's put a note for intercompany dividend, right? Maybe safe and not a good man. If he is equal safe, hello. We have discussed in detail about PP&E sales in between intercompanies, but we haven't taken any notes about it, right? Let's take that note first, then we move out to intercompany division, right? Okay. Intercompany PPE sales. Sales mean, in other words, sales and disposals, right? In other words, intercompany disposal of assets. So let's make a note like this. in an intercompany PB sales transaction, we should consider intercompany recorded gain or loss and the charge depreciation. Intercompany recorded gain or loss and charge depreciation. Charge depreciation, right? Once you are considering land sales, there's no such depreciation. There's no such depreciation reversal. Depreciation reversal. Since a gain or loss arising in a sales transaction, will be eliminated. The land sale is done by subsidiary company. Subsidiary company. The recorded gain or loss. Should be adjusted to consolidated P&L or itu kalian mana consolidated P&L or itu what's the consolidated P&L ini hari kau ada sekarang. Kita ada sekali. Subsidiary earnings. Go ahead. Subsidiary earnings. If the sales transaction done by, if the sales done by the parent entity, the sales is done by the parent entity, the gain or loss should be adjusted to consolidated P&L or consolidated P&L consolidated earnings. Once you are dealing with depreciable asset. Once you are dealing with depreciable assets, the over under depreciation the over under depreciation arising from gain or loss, arising from gain or loss. The reverse. That is that. Okay. Arising from gain or loss. Should be reversed. Should be reversed. Be reversed from consolidated P&L. Consolidated P&L. Subsidiary return earnings. Consolidated P&L. Subsidiary return earnings. අතරට O කියලා දාගන්න. O කියලා දාලා subsidiary return earnings and consolidated return earnings. Subsidiary return earnings and consolidated return earnings. Because they are gonna, once you are calculating this depreciation, you need to consider the date. You need to consider the date. You need to consider the date of the sales transaction happened. Date of the sales transaction happened. Right. I hope that's it, right? The whole, yeah, what is done? So last week we discussed about how you are dealing with this intercompany sales and intercompany sales of PP&E and depreciation reversal. Now, I have mentioned here consolidated P&L or return earnings. Consolidated P&L or subsidiary return earnings or consolidated P&L or consolidated return earnings. Are you okay with that? Why? If you are dealing with P&L and balance sheet both, where you should adjust consolidated P&L. Why? You are preparing P&L, right? If you are dealing with only balance sheet, you need to adjust to the return earning. Why? We have already finalized the return earnings. P&L already finalized. That's the basic understanding you should have once you are dealing with consolidated whatever the adjustment. I am repeating myself again. In the exam, you may be requested to do only balance sheet, right? Sometimes, you are required to prepare consolidated balance sheet. That's it. Sometimes you may be requested to do consolidated P&L and the balance sheet for that period. Then what we should do? First, you need to prepare consolidated P&L, then split that profit, transfer to return earnings, finalize the balance sheet. That is the thought process, right? If you are dealing with PPE sales transaction in P&L plus balance sheet, where you should adjust that gain or loss to the consolidated P&L. That will automatically adjust to the retained earnings, right? If you are dealing with only balance sheet, you don't have any P&L. Gradually, you should adjust consolidated return earnings or subsidiary return earnings. Subsidiary return earnings adjust කරලා ඔයාලට දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ ටිකරි මොලේට මොකද්ද? අන්තිමට ඒක adjust වෙන්නේ ඒක split වෙලා NCI plus consolidated earnings, right? ඒ understanding එක තියෙනවා. Once you are finalizing subsidiary return earnings account, what's the final target? You are going to split that to consolidated earnings and NCI. Temporarily, we are creating subsidiary return earnings now, right? To adjust all subsidiary related P&L entries, right? Finally, you are going to split to the percentage, to the consolidated earnings and NCI. Keep remember that that is the basic understanding you should have for console, right? Today, we are again practicing. If you are coming today for first time the lecture, you can at least maybe 30%, 40% you can catch this. If you are starting today console, right? Keep remember that positive note. Right. I hope that's it for this PP&E sales and PP&E sales transaction. I think you know these scenarios. I discussed this in detail last week, right? Once you are dealing with PP disposals, these are the possible scenarios, right? Examiner can ask these scenarios, right? PP&E disposal. Make it here. Yes, I did the other for the idea to part. I did the other here. PP disposal. It will be a land, right? It will be a other asset. Other owner method depreciable asset. That's very important. Make my land under the end. Land depreciate we are not going to depreciate land. Right? Sold by sub, sold by parent. Right? This is for gain, this is for loss. This is for gain, this is for loss. Right? These are scenarios. Again, same way. Right? These are all the scenarios. These are all the scenarios. It is bit complicated. Why? What's the reason? Once you are having this gain or loss, right? Gain or loss. The logic is once you are recording this intercompany gain or loss as a one company, there's no such a gain or loss. Then what we need to do? We need to reverse it. Right? Logically, once you are recording this gain or loss, if it is a gain, one company overstates that asset. Right? That overstatement will be depreciated already. Right? If it is a loss, one company understates the asset. Then we need to charge depreciation. So that depreciation entry you should pass. Keep remember that Once you are past with depreciation entry, focus about the date you are doing the transaction. If that happened mid of the date of the year, maybe 30th June, the ending date maybe 31st December, only 6 months depreciation charge should be reversed. If you remember that. That is a note we have already taken here. ඒ කතාව තමයි අපි ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. Note එකක් දාලා ලියා ගන්න ඕනේ මොකද්ද? Once you are having a question, please focus about the day that disposal transaction happened. Why? Once you are doing your disposal transaction, then and there you are recognizing the gain or loss. From that date onwards, you are doing the depreciation. That over depreciation will be reversed based on the required period on. If you remember that. Surprise වෙලා වගේ ඉන්නේ. Last week තේරුනේ නැහැ අන්තිම quarter. ඒක make complex නෑ. Don't worry. Once you are doing long question, you can catch this, right? I hope that's clear. So intercompany PPE transaction is a compulsory adjustment. If you are okay with this, you are definitely having 3 marks. අර මොකද්ද මාරු කරන්න තියෙන්නේ? ඒකෙල් plan එකක්ද lorry එකක්ද කියන එක විතරයි මාරු වෙන්නේ. Depreciation rate එකයි amount එකයි මොකද? Sorry. Right. If you are comfortable with this, definitely you can earn 3 marks. This is compulsory, right? Okay. Now we are moving to intercompany dividend. Take it out. Once you are having intercompany dividends in an organization, that should be reversed. Organization that should be reversed once you are finalizing. No, at the point of finalizing consolidated balance sheet, consolidated statement of financial position. Once you are having intercompany dividends, that should be eliminated once you are finalizing consolidated statement of financial position or balance sheet. Normally, dividend is not a sentence. Once you are having intercompany dividends, right? Once you are having intercompany dividends, that should be eliminated once you are finalizing consolidated statement of financial position. Hey guys, ඉතල ගන්න ලියන්නකොට ඇයි ලියනකොට මාර ඉම්පෝටන්ට් දේ මොකක්ද? ඔය ලියන එකේ තීරමක් වැදගත්. Here once you are writing, take a note for your head. What I am writing here. What then ලියන්නේ මම ලියන එක අහලට අගාල පොතට දානවා. තීරමක් වැදගත්. It is useless. Don't write it. ඔයාලට ගිහිල්ලා බලන්නත් බෑ. ඔයා දැන් කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? ගිහිල්ලා බලනවා ගිහිල්ලා තේරුම් ගන්නවා කියන විතර දැන් just write it. If you are doing it, don't do that please. ඔයා ගෙදර ගිහිල්ලා කළොත් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? මම කියන්නේ ඇයි? දැන් ලියන්නේ නැහැ කියලා හිතන් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන කට්ටියට ලෙක්චර් එක. එයාලත් ලියන කුණු බක්කියට දාන්න පොලි. යන ගම. What's the reason? What's the reason I am telling it? නැත්නම් එක්කෙනෙක්ටම ලියලා ෆොටෝකෝපියක් ගහගන්න පුළුවන්. Why we are writing it? It is one-time exercise. You are dealing with your head, brain, nerves, with your hand and your pencil. You are transferring consolidation. One time here. If you are having a question in the exam, you can practice that. Right? You can redo that at the exam. Otherwise, you are not doing it again. If you are dealing with this head, brain, and all these hands and the pencil, right? So it's a process. If you are doing one time, you can repeat it again and again. That's why I'm telling. Once you are writing something, have an understanding first. Have an understanding first and write it. It is not required to use the same words I am repeating here. Right? Convert it to your own words. That's all right. Okay. We need to reverse intercompany dividend, right? Normally, intercompany dividend is not an expense. It's not an expense. It is a deduction in the. It is a deduction in the. Fill the blank. It's a deduction in the. It is not an expense. It is a deduction, maybe from the or in the. Equity statement. Equity statement. The party who are paying dividend. The party who are paying dividend will deduct it from the equity statement, and other party will recognize that as a income. Now I can දෙයක් එක party එකක් equity statement එකකින් අඩු කරනකොට අනිත් party එක that will be deducted from, that will be added as a other income, that will be recognized as other income. Write it. Don't need to follow me. One at the point of one company deducting it as a expense, deducting it from the equity statement, other company will be recognized that as a gain, income. Once you are finalizing the consolidate, once you are finalizing the consolidated, once you are finalizing consolidated financial statements, once you are finalizing the consolidated financial statements, This is a reversal entry. This is a reversal entry. With the reversal entry. In between subsidy return earnings and parents return earnings. Subsidy return earnings and parents return earnings. In some scenarios, this dividend been already paid, but in some scenarios, it will be a payable. It will be a payable. Payable and a receivable. Payable and receivable. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? සමහර question එන්න පුළුවන් dividend already paid. What's the double entry? Party who are paying cash credit, debit to equity state, right? The party who are receiving cash debit, credit to other income, right? We don't need to deal with cash there. What we need to do, we need to reverse this income and expense. Not income and the equity entry, right? We need to reverse that. We are dealing with payable and receivable. It's still remaining in the books, right? We need to set it off there. So the scenario දෙකක් මම කිව්වා. Dividend paid and dividend payable receivable තියෙනවා. Still not paid. Dividend paid, not paid. Right? So that means the topic එකේ once you are dealing with this paragraph, you are having two scenarios. What are they? Dividend paid, dividend not paid. Right? Dividend paid, only we need to reverse the income and equity adjustment. Right? Dividend not paid, it's a payable and receivable. Right? If we are dealing with that type of scenario, you need to reverse the dividend payable and receivable as well. Right? Next. Once you are dealing with about two scenarios, first dividend paid. First dividend paid. We are supposed to adjust income, we are supposed to adjust or reverse income and equity entry. We are supposed to adjust income and equity entry. No other entry to cash. No any entry required to cash. No any entry required to cash. A cash entry can get the why we are not putting cash entry? There's no point, right? Once you are accumulating both cash, you are adding subsidiary cash to parent cash. So if you are putting entry, pointless, right? Finally, you are accumulating that. Going back to scenario 2, not paid. Scenario 2, not paid. Other than income reversal and equity reversal, other than income reversal and equity reversal, we are required to reverse dividend payable and the dividend receivable. Other than gain reversal, income reversal and equity entry reversal, we are supposed to adjust dividend payable and reversal. Dividend payable and reversal. Right. So we have given all the possible entries, right? All the possible entries now. Possible entries. Other than that, maybe we have given 90% entries. 90% entries. In the exam, you may have some other entries as well. Don't worry about that. So these are the intercompany entries. Let's say you are having maybe they have the subsidiary company has not done data provision. Is that a console adjustment? Are you getting me? In the list of adjustments, there will be adjustment that subsidiary company or parent company has not done inventory provision. It is not a consolidated adjustment. What we need to do there? Put this double entry. So those are not consolidated adjustments, right? Once you are dealing with the one question, there will be consolidated adjustments and normal adjustments. If remember that, you need to understand that first. What are the adjustments? What are they? Post acquisition and pre acquisition, right? Once you are coming to a full question, you can divide it into these adjustments to 2 layers. First one is the classification. Console related adjustments, normal adjustments, right? Console adjustments, 2 parts, pre-acquisition and post-acquisition. You need to understand what are the adjustments, direct adjustments. Even the console, ඒකත් බය වෙලා console කියලා ළමයි අපිට ඉල්ලුවට ගෙන මේ මොනවද බය වෙලා ඒක කරන්නේ. ඒ වුණොද grade 2 වල අපි දැනගෙනම ඉපදිච්ච ඒවා. More than the name we know that. Right? Data provisioning, adjustment I think you know. So accrued electricity, accrued expense. You know the adjustment, right? Just past entry. That's it. Don't worry about, don't surprise, don't panic by considering that as a console adjustment. Keep remember that. So with that note, now we are going to do a full console question. First, I am not getting P&L plus balance sheet. I am trying to make only a balance sheet first, right? P&L plus balance sheet out was how to do this. Wow. Surprise, surprise maybe or complicate, P&L plus balance sheet examining it. P&L. So what next step? What is the next step? After completing the P&L, you need to split that profit to whom? Parent and the NCI. Parent and the NCI. Right? You need to split the profit in between parent and the NCI, then you need to finalize the balance sheet. That's a third step. Now we are going to do a full console balance sheet, right? Make them a command exam again repeat. So I'm tagging the Baragato. What is the run full of? How was the last week? How was it? Man. After maybe the mom class in the class again, then you make it about the method. They don't have it. But a class in the video, the guy. Check it out. Take a set up and out here. It is an right? Don't worry about that. I just want to confirm that you are there in the class. Right? Now, it's very important task we are going to do. Right? I have already given the question. That question I am repeating. Right? And the first time I am doing this question, I don't have an answer. Right? So, I hope you are helping me to balance it. That's a target. Right? Right. Here we have a question, right? First, once you are having questions, what you should do, should go to required, right? Required, prepare the consolidated statement of financial position of Sunny Group as of 31st March 2025, right? So you are required to prepare the consolidated financial statements to understand the period, right? So what's the period? What's the group? Sunny, right? Sunny for the period 1st April 2024 to 31st March 2025. It's a financial year. We are supposed to do the statement of financial position, right? The period. So once you are getting this statement of financial position, you are having two companies. You are basically you have how many columns? 4 columns, right? What are the 4 columns? What are the 4 columns? There are examination and results, right? What are the 4 columns? S, right? S, W, A, and S, W, that's it. Starting and beginning, right? Sunny beginning there and then have a bigger in the W together. Sunny middle page and common again. They know they adjustments, right? Adjustments. Right. Once you are dealing with adjustments, you know that in this question you should have different set of adjustments, right? Normal adjustment, console adjustment. Console adjustment, pre-admission, post-admission, right? Some of the adjustments you are doing to this column, right? Some of the adjustments you are doing by using T accounts, right? By using sometimes T accounts or statement type of then statements, right? How we are going to split it? If it is complicated, you are doing T account. If not, you are just putting the adjustment. Plus or minus, that's it. If it is very simple, come and here put the plus 100, minus 100. No need to put a T account and include it. If remember that. You have a doubt where we should adjust. You can decide it, right? Why adjustment column eකට සේරම සමහර ළමයි මුකුත් T accounts හදන්න. Goodwill එක adjust කරන්නේ adjustment column. If you can capable enough to do that, okay. Right? But the complicated entries, adjustments, do T accounts and finalize it and get it to the balance sheet. If you remember that. Now what the confusion in the back? Adjustment column එකේ කරන්නේ මොනවද? T accounts වල කරන්නේ මොනවද? Right? There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about adjustment. Now what මාන clear, right? Exam එකේ අහන ප්‍රශ්නේ clear. It will be a balance sheet to P&L plus balance sheet. No option, right? Once you are having a balance sheet, you are having accounting period. Once you are having a balance sheet, you are having two set of entries, normal entries and console entries. Console entries, pre-acquisition and post-acquisition. Even complicated adjustment, put here. Sorry, simple adjustment, put here. Complicated adjustment, put your pre-work by using T account or statements and get the answer and put here. Why? Adjustment with the Why? You can get the answer clearly here. That's it. No need to repeat yourself in the exam. Okay, those are the basic understanding you should have. Now you have how many adjustments? 11 adjustments, right? Normally this type of questions, you will be given 25, 30 marks, right? 25, maybe 30 marks, right? 25 or 30 marks. මේක ගහවට පස්සේ ඔයාලට ලකුණු කීයක් හම්බෙනවද? ලකුණු එකයි. මේක ගහලා ඔයාලා මොනවද මේක ගහුවට විතර මග මොකද යන්න ඕනේ? Consolidated can ලියා ගන්න. Consolidated statement of financial position as of 31st March 2025 of the Sunny Group. ඔය ටික ගමම ලකුණු එකයි. 1 mark. තව ළමයි කරන දෙයක් තමයි මොකක්ද දන්නවද? ඔයාලලා ටයිම් මදි වුණාම ඔයාලා කරන තව ලස්සන දෙයක් තියෙනවා. මොකද්ද? මේ කම්පැනි දෙකේ amount ටික මෙතන දාන්න. මේ ටික ලියන්න ගන්න. මොනවද ලියන්නේ? PP&E, investment, cash, investment, receivables. මේ ටික ටක් ලියන්න මෙතන. ඊළඟ SK balance sheet එක මෙතන දාන්න. W balance sheet එක මෙතන දාන්න. දාලා ඒ දෙක එකතු කරලා adjustment නැතුව මෙතන දාන්න. tally වෙනවද? tally වෙනවා. ඇයි? මේ deep balance sheet, සානීගේ balance sheet එක tally වෙනවා. right? විනීගේ balance sheet එක tally වෙනවා. ඒ දෙක tally කරලා consolidated tally වෙනවා. balance sheet එක tally වුණාම මාව සතුටකින් යනවා. Are you getting me? That is consolidation for them. If you are doing it, don't do that. You are getting only 1.5 marks. That's how I am with that. Right? Don't do it. If you are not going to do the adjustments, don't try to make it a balance sheet like this. Are you okay? Are you getting what I'm telling? But that is doing, just put in these narrations and sunny balances, mini balances, add that to console column. ලස්සනම දේ තමයි මොකද කරන්නේ? Stated capital එක add කරලා දානවා මෙතන. ඒක දැක්කම දාන්නවා console done zero knowledge කියලා. ඔයාගේ parent entity එකේ stated capital එක තමයි console stated capital එක. ඒක දාන්න මුලින්ම කියලා. දැන් මේකේ stated capital කියලා මෙතන හරියටම දාලා දුගාවි. ඒකේ මුකුත් බලන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. stated capital කියලා මෙතන දානවා නම් දැම්මම දාගන්න පුළුවන්. ඇස් දෙක පියාගෙන ෆක්ට දාන්න. stated capital. Stated capital. $125. Consolidated capital, what is that? 125. Make a simple one. I know you know the console. What is that? What's the logic behind it? Whatever the companies you are having, maybe 100 companies as subsidiaries, stated capital, parent stated capital equal to consolidated capital. Right? Parent stated capital equal to consolidated capital. What is the reason? What is the reason? Always you are eliminating subsidiary stated capital to goodwill calculation. Right? Investment versus stated capital will compare and calculate the goodwill. Once you have finalized the goodwill, there's no such a stated capital in subsidiary company. Okay. Right. Now we are coming to, so you can put a assumption. Assumption that's where, right? Let's say here you can put assumptions. That's important. Examiner also has requested mention any assumptions that were used for the calculations. Mention any assumptions that were used for the calculation. Right? Right. All setup is ready. Now we are going to do pre-acquisition or post-acquisition adjustments. Pre-acquisition adjustments, right? Pre-acquisition adjustments. So you are supposed to put what are the accounts here? Cost of control. NCI. Console. Engineering. Subsidiary. Engineering. Here. Bill. බලන්න නැතුව මේ ටික දාගන්න. හැබැයි if you are having three companies, what we supposed to do? Let's say two acquisitions. Then cost of control, W we need. Right? HCI we need. NCI right? Subsidiary earnings we need. Goodwill we need. If you have two subsidiaries to acquire, you need to specify. Then I want any subsidiary. Cost of control account X. NCI X. X is the company that is there. I have only one subsidiary to acquire. Sometimes, most of the cases, we are having two subsidiaries, right? Two subsidiaries. Keep remember that. Right? So ideally, you are some, but consolidated earnings only one. What's the understanding you should have there? Consolidated earnings one. Why? That's for parents. Once you are finalizing subsidy return in W, what's the final entry? You are going to split that to NCI of that entity and consolidated. Whatever the other company, whatever the other company, same treatment, NCI and consolidated. It is so one consolidated, right? Okay. That complicated picture again, maybe that complicated that why එළියට ගිහින් එන්න. මේ complicated දේවල් තාම entries කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ. Just the setup. Right? Now we are going to read the questions. A. Sunny PLC is a manufacturing company in Sri Lanka on 1st January 2024. 1st January 2024. It acquired 75% of equity interest in Winnie PLC. So you can understand that what mono theory. This is a very important point we are discussing here. The accounting period, very clear that 1st April 2024, 31st March 2025. Acquisition happened where? Within the period, or open date of the period, before the period, right? Before the period. Where is it happen? 1st of Jan, 1/1/2424. This is the date it is happened. Right? Then what is the increase impact? This is the date you calculate the goodwill. This is the date you get in the acquisition control, right? What is this period? Pre-acquisition period. This period we call as post-acquisition period. Post-acquisition period. Right? Measure the acquisition control 75 purchase. As at this date, we are calculating the goodwill, right? This is the pre-acquisition period, this is the post-acquisition period. You can see post-acquisition period, they can carry the post-acquisition period, you are having two parts. What is that? Post-acquisition period, the financial year, and other part. In between acquisition date and the previous period, right? You should have basic understanding of that as well. Post balance sheet period in financial year it may not be there. Or P&L has one. Make a balance sheet other than no impact like that. I hope you are getting me. If you are requesting the P&L here, whatever the P&L impact should divide to the for the period impact and the previous impact. That previous impact should adjust to the return earnings. And during the period part should get to the P&L. Right? Should get to the P&L. Now we are doing the balance sheet too. P&L already done. If it is of both impacts, we are getting to the consolidated earnings. So subsidiary earnings. Are you getting me that point? Confused right? Imagine I have requested the console P&L here. Console P&L if any entry it impact to the subsidiary return earnings or parent return earnings after acquisition should be adjusted to two parts. One part for the period part, we need to split and get to the P&L. And other remaining part should adjust to the return earnings. But here we are doing only balance sheet. If it is so, both can be adjusted to the return earnings. That is a basic understanding. Then මේවා කිව්වම confused වෙලා නම් ඉන්නේ. මේවා complicated දේවල්. Yeah. Confused වෙලා නම් ඉන්නවට understand කරගන්න අමාරුයි. Right? So yes. Yes. ඒකේ මට ඒලස් දෙකයි I can finalize this matter financial forms we finalize. You understand? Okay. Are you clear about what we mentioned? I know here. Sunny PLC is a manufacturing company in Sri Lanka. On January 2024, it acquired 75% of equity interest in BD PLC. 75%, right? 75%. 75% means 25% NCI. Right? Once your series is 75%, 75%, go and put an assumption here. Go and put an assumption. We don't know. They have the control, right? We assume that after having 75% of stake, S we assume that after acquiring, after having 75% of stake, Sunny has the control over Winnie. We assume that we are having the control, right? We assume that we have the control. We assume that after having 75% of the stake, Sunny has the control over Winnie. Right? Now we are coming to adjustments, right? We are having post-acquisition and pre-acquisition adjustment. Here we can see one pre-acquisition adjustment is there. What is that? Goodwill calculation. Goodwill calculation. We have already done. Right? So, not only basic calculation, we have done it by using different considerations, right? Different entries. Here we have another scenario. We'll see what happens. Cash consideration 25 million, right? Cash consideration 25 million. At the acquisition date, Winnie had retained earnings 5 million and other equity reserves of 1.1 million, right? The transaction was conducted for using full goodwill method, and the fair value of Winnie's net asset as at 1st April. Direction එක කරගන්න ඕන question එකේ. 1st of April කියලා තියෙන එක 1st of January වෙන්න ඕන නේද? First of April කියලා තියෙන. That should be 1st of January. 38 million කියන එක 58 million වෙන්න ඕන. ඒ දෙක හදාගන්න. අපේ වෙනානේ. I gave a change to the question, right? Here we have mentioning here this net assets. Net asset as of 1st Jan 2024. Otherwise, you can't calculate the goodwill, right? That means always this fair value, everything should be given the acquisition date. And the fair value of the net assets, not 38 million, it should be 58 million. Because then, wow, print කරගෙන නැත්නම් correction එකක් කියලා ලියා ගන්න. Right. Now we are going to calculate the goodwill. Calculate the goodwill. So here we have only one consideration. That will be a very easy question. Actually, this was taken from financial reporting paper. I'm giving, right? Once you are coming to corporate reporting, this consideration may be given by using three considerations, right? Our question එක මොකක්ද වෙනස් වෙන්නේ? our question එකේ මේ මුලින්ම තියෙන paragraph ඒ කියන්නේ page එකේ භාගයක් තියෙනවා. full paragraph. දැන් ඉගෙන ගන්න පොඩි paragraph එකක් තියෙනවා. Once you are going to corporate reporting exam question, you may have half of the page, right? This paragraph will include different scenarios, right? So here we have only one consideration. What is that? Only cash consideration. How much is it? How much is it? Cash consideration here. 25 million, right? 25 million. Where is it in the balance sheet? Where is it in the balance sheet? Investment 25, right? That's the balance. You can put a tick mark to that 25. You can put a tick mark to that 25, right? Here, investments, right? Investments in the balance sheet, you can see. Balance sheet, you have PPE, right? Investment. Investment. But investment මේව දාන්න පුළුවන් ලස්සනට. කොහොමද දාන්නේ? ඔයාට මෙතෙන්ට 25 දාලා. මෙතෙන්ට 12.6 දාලා. නේද? මෙතෙන්ට ඔයාට adjustment 25 දාන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම දාන්න පුළුවන්. Right? ඒක කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? We are crediting credit investment. Credit investment. Debit where? Debit where? Cost of control account. Credit investment debit. Cost of control account. Cash or investment. Right? Investment. Right? මෙතෙන්ට දැන් එන්නෝට තාම මොකක්ද කියලා දවන්නේ. මෙතෙන් තව එකක් එනවා. එනිකත් NCI what they know. Goodwill calculation එකේ account එක ගිහින් බලන්න අපි හදපු account එක. Once you are calculating goodwill, what we are going to proceed as at the acquisition date, how much of equity is there and what is the consideration? Here we are doing goodwill calculation based on which goodwill method? Full goodwill method. Full goodwill method means we are getting fair value of NCI, right? Then we cost of control account taken. Now other consolidated ඉගෙන ගන්න කට්ටියම සර්ප්‍රයිස් වෙලා වගේ බලන්න එපා. දැන් කන්ෆියුස් වෙලා වගේ ඉන්නේ. කන්ෆියුස් වෙන දෙයක් නැහැ. Once you are calculating the goodwill at the acquisition date, the win is net asset. How much? The consideration, how much? Total consideration. Total consideration, you have, this is 475. This is 475, right? 75. This is for 25. NCI, right? NCI debit here, credit here. Credit here. Cost of control. How we are going to calculate it? How we are going to calculate it? Fair value of NCI, right? Fair value of NCI. So as at 1st January 2002 or 24, fair value of net assets was given. How much? 58. Fair value of net assets given. Fair value of NCI 58 into 25%. 58 into 25%. What is that? Fair value of NCI. Fair value of NCI. Right? Fair value of NCI. Here's the fair value of NCI. $14.5. $14.5. Why we are using fair value of NCI? මෙතන use කරන්නේ fair value ද නැද්ද කියන එක මත. Fair value ද නැද්ද කියන එක මත. Fair value නම් full goodwill. Book value නම් proportionate. Right? Here question clearly say we are using which method? Full goodwill method. Goodwill can be calculated based on two different methods. What are they? Full goodwill method and the proportionate goodwill method. Right? If we are using book value, proportionate goodwill. You are calculating goodwill only for the parent entity. If you are using the fair value of NCI, you are calculating goodwill for both NCI and parent. Full goodwill method. Right? Okay, we have taken all the consideration to the equity. Now we are going to transfer. Equity portion as at the normally we are having not only subsidy return earning account. Someone on the account එකක් තියෙනවා. Subsidy return earnings කියලා විතරක් බලාගෙන ඉන්න එපා. නේද? one tower account එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා පේනවනේ. මොකද්ද? Subsidiary other equity reserve account. Mini. Right? එහෙනම් තාම මොකක්ද වෙන්න ඕනද? Console other equity reserve account. Console. It depends, right? Once you are going into the questions, we can understand this. Put your balances over there. Put your balances. What are the balances here? Up. The subsidiary 1.9. 1.9. Retained earnings 3.4. Sorry. Well, yeah, that's that guy. Make it that. This is console other liquidity reserve. Make it that more often. That's the opening balance sheet. Opening balance sheet fill දැන් මේක අර මම නෝට් එක දෙනකොට ලියන ස්ටයිල් එකෙන් පොතේ ලියා ගන්න ස්ටයිල් මේක කරගන්න යන්න එපා. මේකේ පොතේ දාන්න මේකේ අඳිනවා. මේකේ ලියනවා මේකේ අඳිනවා. ඒ ස්ටයිල් එකට නම් කරන්නේ වාපේ. ඒක කරන්න යන්නේ බව අන්ඩර්ස්ටෑන්ඩ් කරගන්න ඉන්නවා. right? Other equity reserve මේක රේට් කීයද? කියන්න බලන්න. මේ account එකේ රේට් මොනවද? Opening balance. Tell me මේ account එකට මොනවද දෙන්නේ? Any idea? මේ account එකට කීයද දෙන්නේ? 30. 30. Yes. Where is it in? Balance sheet එකේ තියෙනවා 30. Return earnings 38 කොහාටද? Return earnings 38 කොහාටද? මේ account එක. Very difficult to do console in this type of. We want to have a very long whiteboard to do console. It's not ideal. 38 here, 13 here. 38.6 now. Sorry. 38.6, 13. Then the numbers order. We had 3 numbers. What are the 3 numbers? Parent me 1, 2, 5, 13, 38.6. You should have understanding. Once you are starting console question, put your parents' equity to the last column. Right? Get opening balance to here. That's the first task you can do. මේ 1 2 5 වල තියෙන දැන්. එතන 1 2 5 අපි දාන්න තියෙන්නේ මේකට. Right? Parents equity took as the console equity. And parents return earnings account balance. Where is it? Where is it? Console return earnings opening balance. Whatever this console other equity reserve opening balance is other balance. And once you are going to subsidiary company, now go to subsidiary equity. Subsidiary equity. Other equity reserves 1.9. 1.9. What question? Then answer is going to get 1.9. We have that of that balance here. Balance, right? Balance. Opening balance, balance carried forward or something like that. Right? 1.9. And where's the retained earnings? Retained earnings මොකක්ද? බලන්න again. තනියෙන් දාන්න ගිහිල්ලා. දැන් මාර confident එකක් එනවා. 3.4. Balance 3.4. Then one with our 50 එකක් ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ. ඒ මොකක්ද? Subsidiary equity. Subsidiary equity, where are we going to put it? There's no change. කෙලින්ම අපි ගිහිල්ලා පාඩම් දාන්න. කෙලින්ම අපි ගිහිල්ලා පාඩම් දාන්න. මෙතෙන් දාන්න. Subsidiary equity account debit, credit to stated capital 50. Stated capital 50. right? What if then ඔතන ඔයාගේ balance sheet එකේ ඒ තියෙන item 6 items ඔයා tick දාලා තියෙන හැම එකම අරන් තියෙන්නද? Are you okay? Okay, right? Okay. Good balance sheet එකේ මේ item one ඉස්සරහ තියෙන්නේ. දැන් මේ balance දෙකක් ඔයා ගන්න යන්නේ cost of control account. ගන්න යන්න step එක දැන් තියන්න. ඒක critical. දැන් කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? parent වගේ අතන තියෙන එක account එකේ දැන්. Now we are going to do a very critical adjustment. What is that? We want to get the retained earning as at the acquisition date to this account. Right? Now you know, once you are reading through this first para, it's clearly saying that first acquisition date, retained earnings 5 million. Retained earnings 5 million. Mobile class में एक 2 million चलेगा एक bad patient एक यार करना और मैं चाली बिना तो मेरे बिना करा खुद रहता है ये पैराग्राफ में क्या रिप्लेस करा दिए पैराग्राफ में क्या opening return earnings 2 million opening return earnings up to 1 million what पैराग्राफ जो हम टाइप कर लाए देखो ना पूरा है Here we have opening date, other equity reserves 1.1 million. Don't worry, 1.1 million other equity reserves. Other equity reserves 1.1 million, right? 1.1 million debit here, credit where? 1.1 million debit here. Credit card what is? Pay down later. 1.1 million. Other equity reserves. ये मुकदर करे अभी මෙතන 1.9 at the year end. Till acquisition date, that part we need to get to goodwill calculation. The remaining is what? Remaining equity portion 0.8. Remaining in this account. Right? It's 2 million. 2 million. 5 million එක 2 million කරගන්නවා. ඒක තාම කිවෙන්නේ නැත්නම් කන්ෆියුස් වෙනවා. දැන් මේ තේරෙන්නේ නැති ඇස්සේ මේ ක්වෙස්චන් එක චේන්ජ් කරමු ගමන් ෆුල් බ්ලැන්ක් වෙලා යනවා. මොකද්ද මේ කරේ? ඒක කරන්න හේතුව තේරෙන්න ළමයින්ට තියෙනවා ක්ලාස් එකේ. මේක උනේ කොහොමද දැන්? ලොකු කම්ප්ලිකේටඩ් ක්වෙස්චන් එකකට මම වෙන පැරග්‍රාෆ් එකක් දානවා. ඒක රිප්ලේස් වුණා. දැන් තමයි මට නෝට් කරන්නේ. I didn't do that. Yes. What a day back. Home cannibal. Both methods are of heavy service team. Highly fast. Reserve fast. But US gap is only narrowly included. Right? Those are the two methods. But one coming good methods. They are very fancy. It means that the goodwill will be calculated for both parts. Right? So NCI and sale. You are getting constantly of NCI. You are calculating proportionate. Right? You can study this more. මේක තේරුම් නැත්නම් කියන්න. මට යාළුවකින් අහගන්න බෑ මේක. Right? දැන් question එකේ චූටි වෙනසක් කරනවා. අර 5 million කියන එක 2 million කරගන්න. මොකද 5 million 2 million කරන්න reason එක මේ account එකේ balance එක තියෙන්නේ 3.4 නේද? 5 million මෙතන දාපුවා මේ minus වෙනවා. මේක අපි 2 million right? 2 කරලා debit here, credit here, debit here, මෙතන ලියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Cost of control. දැන් මෙතන මට නිසුණා cost of control කියන්නේ. ඒක ලියලා නැත්නම් මේක ලෙඩක්. මෙතන cost of control කියලා ලියලා තමයි මෙතන. මෙතන ලියලා තමයි true gear මෙතන ගන්න. right? Right. Now we have taken all the equity as at the acquisition date. Then මේක විතරක් බැලුවොත් cost of control account විතරක් බැලුවොත් ඔයාලට හොඳ understanding එකක් තියෙනකොට මොනවද ඒකේ තියෙන්නේ? අර මුලින් goodwill කරන්න ගත්ත item ටිකම තියෙනවා. මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? Consideration, fair value of NCI at the acquisition date, stated capital and other equity parts, return earnings and other equity. Okay. First we are going to compare this now. All consideration for the equity. Net එක මොකක්ද දෙන්නේ අපිට? goodwill එක. That's it. Okay. Now we are not going to finalize this cost of control account. So my advice is don't finalize these accounts now. So go to other adjustments. Right? What මොකක්ද පේන්නේ goodwill account එකේ? goodwill එකක්ද වෙන මොකක් හරිද පේන්නේ? එහෙම මොකුත් පේන්නේ නැද්ද? goodwill එකේ negative goodwill වලට අපි මොකද කිව්වේ? gain on bargain purchase එකක් තමයි මේක පේන්නේ. මොකද වාගේ stated capital එක 50 තියෙනවා. acquire කරන්න තවද return earning 3 තියෙනවා. 53 තියෙන company එකට දෙන්නේ කොච්චරද? 39 or something, 39.5. equity එච්චර තියෙන්නේ 39.5 නේද? There's no goodwill, right? Is a gain on bargain purchase. In a pain විදිය. ඒකත් confuse කරගන්න එපා. We'll calculate it later. So we don't know that there are any adjustments related to this cost of control account. So what else it will come as adjustments? Maybe if there's a contingent liability in the subsidiary or any other adjustments may come from here. Keep remember that. So once you are reading through that, other things has recorded only the cash payment. Okay, that's it. So this pre-acquisition adjustment now done. Right. So we are coming to rest of the adjustments. The first adjustment. First adjustment. What owner? Avashana. Or workings කියලා දාලා එහෙම කරනවා. මට මෙහෙම දාන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඇඩ්ජස්ට්මන්ට් පටන් ගන්නකොට ලස්සනට working. Adjustment 1. Adjustment 1, right? Adjustment 1. Contingent liability. ගොඩක් ලියන්නේ නැහැ. මේ question එකම paper එකේ ලියන්න යන්න එපා. Adjustment 1 මේ adjustment එක ලියනවා paper එකේ නා. කාල time එක වැඩි. Don't do that. Contingent liability 1.5 transfer to cost of control account. Cost of control account. Why? Subsidiary company, normally they are not recording contingent liability. The guideline given, the standard requirement is once you are calculating a goodwill, right? All these contingent things should be recorded in the books. Right? Normally, as per LKS 37, contingent asset, contingent liabilities and provision standard. Contingent liabilities are not going to record. It's just a disclosure. But if you are calculating goodwill, that is also invisible. So you need to be conservative once you are calculating goodwill. And the conservative approach, what we need to do, this contingent liability should be recorded in the books of consolidation. Right? How are we going to record that? Gain on bargain purchases, our value. Contingent liability credit, debit to 1.2. 1.5. Contingent liability. Contingent liability credit, debit to here. Contingent liability. We need to put here. Contingent liability. Make it another. Take adjustment data. 1.25. Contingent liability. Adjustment 1 done. Okay. Adjustment 2. Sunny incurred legal charges of 500 for the acquisition of Winnie. However, this cost was not recorded in Sunny's financial statements. All legal charges were related to the investment in that part, not relevant, right? All legal charges were related to investment, a part not relevant. For Sunny incurred legal charges of Rs 500 for acquisition of Winnie. However, this cost was not recorded in Sunny's financial statement. It means they have not passed that entry. Then what we need to do? We need to pass that entry. Doubt is whether we are going to get these legal charges to cost of control account or not. We have a clear understanding. Whatever the charges we are making for the acquisition purpose, it is not a part of goodwill calculation. Are you okay with that? You got me the right? නැත්නම් මාන ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ. නෝට් තියෙන කට්ටිය දැන goodwill calculation Ready to other side. පරිද අපි කොහොමද ඒක කියලා තියෙන්නේ මේක ලියලා මල දාලා ඉරි ගහ ගන්නත් කියලා තියෙන්නේ මල දාලා ඉරි ගහ ගන්න කියන සරු දාලා තියෙන්නේ එදා වහින දවසක් මතකද outside එකේ මාල් zoom environment එකක් This legal charges has not been recorded. Now we should supposed to record. We supposed to record, right? What we need to do, pass the double entry. Once we are doing legal charges, this is not payable, right? What they have to tell here, incurred. Sunny incurred legal charge. Incurred means paid, right? Incurred means paid. Don't pay them as a liability. Already paid, right? Paid now, they have not recorded now. Cash credit. Cash credit 500. Cash credit 500. Take a cash account එකක් හදලා දාලා නෝ කොහොමද වයිද? එහෙම වුණොත් ඔයාලා ඒ කියන්නේ question paper එකම account වලින් පෙරේනවා. මම මොකද කරන්න ඕනද? ඔයා මෙහෙම දාන්න. නේ. මම මෙහෙම කරන්න. ඔයා cash කියලා මෙතන දාගන්න. නේ. cash කියලා දාලා ඔයා ඉස්සරහට කරන් ඉන්න වැඩක් තියෙන්නේ. ඔයා ඉස්සරහට කරන් ඉන්න වැඩක් තමයි මේ company cash මෙතනට දාලා. අනිත් company cash 10.1 මෙතනට දාන්න. ඒක දැන් මේ complicated කරගන්න එක නේ B2 work එකක් ඉස්සරහට කරන් ඉන්න දෙයක්. cash එක දාගත්ත company දෙක. දැන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? This should be adjusted to the parent entity. Parent entity 0.5 cash එක minus කරනවා. Right, cash credit. Debit to where? Debit to consolidated earnings account. Don't put it to this goodwill calculation account, cost of control account, right? You need to put it to here. Consolidated earnings debit 0.5. කොහොමද මෙතෙන්ද දාන්නේ? cash කියලා. If you are not getting it, let me know. What's the reason for putting consolidated? Why? It was done by Winnie. Right? If you are working console P&L, still you need to put here. What's the reason? What P&L console P&L එක හදුවොත් මේක තමයි discuss. What careful and way of P&L again. No. This is not relevant for this period. Right? This is relevant for previously acquired companies. Are you getting me? Right. Second adjustment done. Huh? Second credit debit කරන්නේ. It is not adjusted. Let's say imagine pocket it out all consolidation. Right? You are doing grade 5 error correction. Error correction kara grade 5. Error correction, we have different types. Double correction. So this duplication, right? This set of issues, we have different error correction, right? If you have error correction, full double entry missing. Here, there's a payment, full double entry missing. Right? What is that? Legal expense. How we are going to correct it? We need to put that entry. Right? What is the entry? Legal expense debit, credit to cash. Once we are debiting legal expense, once we are correcting the profit, we need to do what? We need to deduct that from the profit. So it was not adjusted. Now what we are going to do that? We consolidate it. It is belonging to, it is relevant to parent. That's why we are getting to consolidate. What is subsidiary return earnings? Make subsidiary getting no. Subsidiary, we can't get it. It was done by the parent. That's why we are getting it to the consolidated. Right? That's a parent decision. Okay. I hope it is okay, right? Okay. The main history immediately. May don't take a method and make a method. Okay. Complicated. Present medallion. We are coming to adjustment number 3. Sunny has expired food stock valued 700. That need to be written off. What is that adjustment? It is not a console adjustment, no? Console adjustment. What we need to do? We need to adjust the stock, right? The stock credit, P&L debit, right? Stock credit, P&L debit. P&L mean make කාගෙද තියෙන්නේ? parent ගේ subsidiary ගේ. parent ගේ. එහෙනම් parent ගේ P&L කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? consolidated earnings. Consolidated earnings debit 0.7. 0. Inventory stock 0.7, right? Debit consolidated earnings, right? Credit to or then inventory account එක parent ගේ දාන credit කරගන්නවා. නෑ. ඔයා මොකද කරන්නේ? වා. දැන් experience කෙනෙක් විදියට ඇවිල්ලා මම මොකද කරගන්නේ? එතෙන්ට ඔයා balance sheet එකේ දාන්නේ inventory. ඔයා ඒකත් දාගන්නවා. ඔයා balance sheet එකේ inventory කොහොමද දාන්නේ ඉන්නේ? ඔයා non current asset වලට නෙමෙයි inventory දාන්නේ current asset වලට. ඔයා inventory කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ? inventory මෙන්න මේ විදිහට තමයි තියෙන්නේ. Inventory කොහොමද 29.5, right? 29.5 මොන දැන් බලන්න 29.5 ආයෙත් මොකද කියන අනිත් කිස්සේ යන්නේ කතායි. 29.5 balance sheet එකේ තියෙනවා. හරිද? 29.5 ඊට පස්සේ 8.65 8.65 ඊට පස්සේ අපි මොකද කරන්නේ? 0.7 credit 0.7 credit ඒක relevant වෙන්නේ මෙතෙන් 29.5 වලට, right? what ඕන නම් adjustment වල මට අවශ්‍ය නම් adjustment වලට ඇවිත් මට අවශ්‍ය නම් adjustment වලට ඇවිත් ඒ තියෙන adjustment ඒක අමතක වෙලා අපි adjustment to legal charges 0.5 console general and cash. Adjustment 3. Adjustment 3. Parent stock. Parent stock 29.5. Provision 0.5. 29 is the net stock. No, so एक additional there. Net stock here. Balance 0.5 to 7. $28.8. And make it a confused when they found it. Make it already color the sir. Common the color inventory credit, balance sheet gadgets kara, consolidated earnings debit, profit take had. Take up the adjustment diagram and on further. Well, upon gun A plus gun neck. But a payment done to adjustment 1, 2, 3. Are they valid? ලකුණු කියලා. ඒක නිසා two type එකක adjustment ටික 1 2 3 දාලා මේව ලියලා තියන්න. එහෙම ලියනවා ළමයි වගේ. We are coming to adjustment number 4. Adjustment number 4. What is that? Then මේ adjustment තුනම වත් තේරුණා කියලා හිතනවා. We have done legal charges, contingent liability. Yes.
Adjustment, if it was for the subsidiaries, the expenses in the subsidiary, which later example the subsidiaries, it gets paid according to the HCI and addition portion.
No need. Why? Once you are finalizing subsidy return and its account, at the end of the question, we're going to split.
At the end, we can.
We are splitting. That impact will be split at that time. We don't need to split now. If you are not doing subsidy returning account, whatever the impact, always we need to split and put into subsidy returning account. That's the reason we are putting subsidy returning. Otherwise, all subsidy impact should split and we need to put consolidated return and inside NCI. Each and every entry. We don't need to do that. Why? We are putting into subsidy returning account. Finally, we're going to split it. Adjustment number 4. Sunny has sold beverage items worth of Rs 10 million to Winnie during the year. Here we have a scenario. Parents sold goods to subsidiary, right? At the end of the period, Winnie held 650 worth of goods. Sunny markup on the goods 33.1 right? Unrealized gain, how much? 1625. 162,500. Why? We have sold 10 million in between two entities, right? They're keeping in the inventory 650,000. Under 650,000, we have unrealized gain 1/4. Why? Markup 1/3. If markup 1/3, margin 1/4. We have already discussed that, right? Once you are getting 160, 115, 1/4, 162.5. So make it our convert millions worth. But you know, 0.1625. 0.1625, how we are going to adjust that? How we are going to adjust that? How we are going to adjust that? Also determining the count. So I supposed to draw this consolidated account again, right? Otherwise, unrealized gain, unrealized gain. Who is keeping the inventory? Bini, right? Who has sold this item? Parent. Because of that, parent has unrealized gain. That unrealized gain debit means also is debit. So return is debit 0.1625. Credit here, debit here, right? Control return is debit. Credit where? Subsidiary inventory. Subsidiary inventory. We don't need to split that. Don't need to split that. We have another entry here. Have another entry here. What is that? 0.1625. Inventory එකට දෙකක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. මේක මොකක්ද? Provision. මේක මොකක්ද? Unrealized gain. ඔයාලම දාගන්න එතන. This is the provision, the unrealized gain. දෙකක් ඇවිල්ලා නම් හිමි චුට්ටක් දාගන්න ඕන. පුළුවන් නම්. Both done. Once you are coming to adjustment number 5. Adjustment number 5, right? As of 31st March 2025, Sunny management identified 10% of receivable as an expected impairment loss, but this was not recorded in Sunny's books. What is that? That is not a consolidated adjustment, right? You need to put a double entry. How you are going to put it? Parent entity, right? Parent entity, they have not done debtor provision. Trade receivables, right? Trade receivables. Go to trade receivables. Trade receivable, how much? 13.4, right? 35.7. You need to get the parent entity, right? You remember that you're supposed to get the parent entity, not the subsidiary, right? Parent entity 35.7. 35.7, we have to do 10% provision. How much? 3.57. 3.57, make a provision. Make a provision. 3.57, now method මොකද කරන්නේ? Trade debtors. Trade receivable. Trade receivables, how much? 35.7. 35.7. Thirty-five point 30.4. 13.4. 3.57 minus, right? 3.57 minus. 3.57 minus in trade receivable credit. Debit to where? Debit to consolidated earnings. Debit to consolidated earnings. Very good. Also means that if they have a proper narration, what are they? This is the what is this? Legal charges. Yeah, legal charge, right? Legal charges. Legal charges. What is this? Stock provision. Stock provision. What is this? Unrealized gain. What is this? Inventory provision. Right. May item හතර තමයි debit වෙලා. ඒ සේරම credit වුණා කොහෙද කියලාද? කියන තැන් වලට credit වුණා. හොඳට දැනගන්න මේ පාට credit උනේ කියලා. පාට බෑන් වලින් පාට කරගන්න ඕනේ. Yeah, impairment provision. Impairment provision, trade receivables provision, and whatever you need. Different account name, trade receivable. Method has done trade receivable. There are different account name. I want to mention what are the things I just put here. Right. We have done with 5 adjustments. In the exam, you have earned 15 marks. You have earned not 15, maybe, yeah, already 15 marks, sir. Great. I had a break. That's totally we are මාර කේස් එක දැන් බාරගන්න. මේ ගාන මේ ටික තමයි ඉතින් මේ හදන්නේ එක්සෑම්. මේ ගානේ කොට දාන ලකුණු 15ක් තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් ෂෝට්ලි වල ළමයින්ට යන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොමද ඉතුරු ඇඩ්ජස්ට්මන්ට් තියෙනවා ටිකක් වෙලා යනවා ඉතින් හිමීට කරන්නේ ඒකෙන් නේ. එකක් තියෙනවා. Yes. Right, we have done 5 adjustments, right? We are remaining with the rest of the 3 adjustments, 6 adjustments, right? We do it after the break. You can have the break now. Well, break got to lame maru nahi guys. It's supposed to give the break. We have done with 6 adjustments. Then we interval එකේ එන කට්ටිය එන්න එපා කියන්නේ. මුල් මේ blank වෙලා වෙනම ලෝකයකට යනවා. අපි මේ barcode එක එවන්නම් කියන්නේ. ආට ඉන්න කියන්නේ එළියේ. හොඳද? Oh, bro, what's actually? But the query, ලස්සනට දෙන්න බලන සතුටු. එදායිමන්ට බලන සතුටු වෙනවා. හොඳ ලස්සනට ඩිලිවර් කරාද නැද්ද කියන්නේ. genuinely deliver කරාද. නමුත් ළමයි සාමාන්‍යව දැවැටුවා. සර් දැවැටුණා.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
The prioritization top important. For prioritize number one, but that clear the other.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, you have given this same question as an alternative assignment, no, yesterday. So,
Yes.
do we need to make the adjustment in this in the same paper, or you will give us another one?
No, you can upload the things you did there. Right? I hope you have already done it, right?
Yes,
I hope
sir,
you
that
have
one
already
done.
You can upload to the LMS. It may be wrong, right? That's all right,
Yes.
right? Just want to see your effort.
Okay, sir. Okay. Fine. Thank you, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank
If
you
you
so
have-
much, sir.
If you have not done it, after doing these detailed adjustments, you can redo the question and you can scan it and you can upload it. I'm not going to check the accuracy of the question. I'm checking, have you tried it? That's it. That's the main purpose is, before we are coming to this question, you need to struggle, you need to have, question in mind, and then and there, oh, yeah, hey. Very good. Well, that's a little photo now. Yeah, we have put that. Yeah, maybe you can be a go on the field, maybe I talk to them. What is that? You can now get double dividend. What's that? No, common dividend. Double dividend. Yeah, he comes up and that's all after the day. We're going on banana. Then make one of the reason here. Make a more together that never. One next level. That's not more. But that then you want to be again. What that is the level only eating. With another thing of course, guaranteed. And then adjustment variation as well. And then TE counts down as well. A statement type other or what the expert can Oh, oh, you can take out that. Mama done. Yes, it could have past year, maybe 14 years back. Is that? May say maybe there are a marks set up there, marks there. Console coverage reporting get a but now marks was to do it. Added of the focus. Focus about the really life again. Life again last seven. Life again marks. Life again credit person to earn. That's a really big person. Right? Whatever the religion. We need to learn that first. And then and there. Well, the marks then, marks they already. And then there's the marks we here. Here they are, and they can have life. They can have achieve. Really think the right. That's it. But oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Mana balan? Mana ikut balan? Balan dia. They just take a basically got the purpose of the no, no, balan ikut dia.
That's fine.
Question. Pay attention sama subscription. Really, yes, pay. Already out. Yeah, okay. Remaining Study කරන්න පුළුවන්.
මාර දෙක්ස් කියනවා. Pumpkin के मेरे पास ये मेरे को फोटो में बंद है सारे मुझे तो बहुत है
Oh, yeah, the tactical. Dalam sama. Matagal lagi yang WhatsApp पे फोन करना है
Yeah. ඒක නමක් නෑ. මේක ජීවිතේ පුතන් තාරාස් ඩීටේල් එක දාන්න තමයි සිග්නල් දාන්න දැම්මොත් ඒකට තියෙනවා. අර නම් මොකද තේරෙන්නේ නම් ප්‍රයොරිටි පොලේ තියෙන වීසා එක පොඩා hospital එකේ ICU එකේ parents ICU එකේ ඊට වඩා ලොකු දෙයක් නැහැ නෝ ඒ වගේ අපි වීසා ගොඩක් තියෙනවා ඒ ළමයින්ට ඇයි ඔබට ප්‍රයොරිටි දෙන්නේ ඉතාලන්න බෑ advance surprise ගොඩක් ඇතිනේ ඒ ළමයි දැන් කියලා මොකක්ද හරි හැබැයි තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ අපිට දැනට ඩීප් එකක් ඒක ප්‍රශ්න decision life එක ගන්න මොකද prioritize කරන්නේ පක්ද ඊළඟට කරන්නේ step එක රට යනවද නැද්ද මැරි කරනවද කවුද මැරි කරන්නේ හැම decision එකම ඔය prioritize silent කරලා ඒක නිසා දීගයා හැම එකම හැම එකම නැහැ ස්ටෝරි අරකට උත්තර දෙන්න කොමන්ලි ඒ ස්ටෝරි එක මාරු ඉස්සරහට බැයි මට ස්ටෝරි එකක් මම අද උදේ ජීවිත කරා ඩවුන් සවුත් ඉඳන් එන කිලෝමීටර 160 හදන මාත් ඉවරද 160 හදන කියලා දෙනවා වීසා නදාලා නැහැ ඉතින් මේ එහෙම තමයි කරන්නේ ඒකට සර් ඩෙඩිකේෂන් එකක් කරනවා අපේ පැත්තෙන් මේ පීස් එක ඉස්සරහට පේනවා ඒක බලන්න යාළුවන්ට කියන සෝදයක් කරන්නේ that is not the marks that not the aid to the class that is not the attendance right question is whether you can perform consolidation to earn money can you do that ඒක තමයි achievement බලන්න ඕන earn කරනවද consolidation ඒක තමයි target ඒකට යන්න නම් step by step basic දැනගන්න CFO කෙනෙක් වෙන්න consolidation review කරන්න මේක දන්නේ නැතුව CFO කෙනෙක් වෙන්න ඒක නිසා මාර වේටේජ් එකක් දෙන්න ඒක බ්ලොක් කරන්න right බලන්න දෙන්නේ එසේ එහෙනම් බලන්න මොකද කරන්නේ කියලා But the long time I think I got it. We have 11 software now. It was doing. But I'm going to guarantee I make.